Hey everyone, this is Ethan, and we are on Team 16 now. We are halfway done with our draft preview. So, of course, as I have said before, keep spreading these around, get people to see them. Now, 16 through, I think you have an idea of what I'm all about and what I'm trying to do, and I hope that I'm making you guys happy. Any comments, tweet me, comment on the video, and just keep me updated. I want to know what people are thinking. And of course, I will not be doing a video on Thursday because I will be in transit. But Friday, I will not only be doing a normal Patriots video, I will be doing a special long form Patriots video for the crazy Boston fans who I know would like to see it. So, that'll be fun. Anyway, today's Jacksonville, and the Jaguars are a fun team to look at. Gene Smith is your general manager, and he is a really interesting guy. I actually kind of like the way he drafts because he doesn't care what anybody thinks. I loved the Tyson Alualu pick last year, as a matter of fact. I had him as a late first, early second round pick in January, and then everyone else caught on. He was one of my two major hits last season, along with Roger Saffold, who I was on in December. Those were my two pride and joy people last year. So those are the two people who I will pimp any chance I get. Anyway, so I love the pick of Tyson Alualu, and I like the way he drafts is interesting to me. Just because he mixes small school, big school. He has a wide geographic reach. He loves going west, as well as also staying home and taking small school prospects from Virginia. And I think there are a lot of different ways they could go with these picks. So I'm not going to profess that what I think is going to be right. I'm definitely going to be suggesting something a little bit out of the box for them. But I think it's worth thinking about, especially with this team and the way they draft. So I hope you guys consider it. It might not be, this is one of the teams that I might come back to at the end after I've done all 32 videos and do like a redo if we get a little bit more of a sense of who they're going to look at and I get some comments on this video. But I do feel good about this pick. I just think it's an interesting pick that I'm going to make for them. So, looking at Jacksonville, they place a really high value on character. You need to be a high character guy, or at least not a low character guy to be picked. Mid-rounds, they place a little bit less value on it, but still important. They get their guys regardless of where they're projected. If they are going to be a low pick, they will get them no matter what. If there is someone they really want, they'll make sure they go after him. Derek Cox is a perfect example of this. Nobody had him projected as a third-round pick when they took him, and they decided to get him anyway. And honestly, he wasn't too bad last year. I'd have to look at my cornerback metrics for exact numbers, but I don't think he was that bad last year. And the other thing that I've noticed is that they tend to draft in clusters. They tend to focus on, and whether this is inadvertent or on purpose, they will occasionally pick players from the same position in a row. And I think that they could break from that a little bit this year, though I do think they are going to have some sort of focus on the secondary because that needs a lot of help. And there is a lot of secondary talent in this draft, especially a couple of people I'm going to propose coming up. So looking at their first round pick, I see three very feasible scenarios. One is that they make the somewhat expected pick. They take Cam Jordan out of California. There are a couple of issues with this. First of all, I love Cam Jordan dearly, but the two defensive ends that have been drafted in this new age on this team that are under 250 pounds have both been drafted by Gene Smith. Aaron Morgan and the other one is Larry Hart, I believe. Both of those guys were a little bit small. Now, that doesn't mean that they only like small defensive ends. We've seen with some of their signings and all of their other defensive ends that they like bigger defensive ends. But I don't think that it's going to be such a huge emphasis for them. And to be honest, I don't know if Jordan would be the best complement on their line or whether they would think that. I definitely think that it's a possibility, but from my perspective, I think that there are a couple of better picks out there. Second option, take a quarterback. And this is one that is definitely possible. They could take Christian Ponder in round one. It would not surprise me a bit. However, I am a little conflicted with this as well because I don't think that they're going to want to take a quarterback in the first round. And I think that there's going to be an option in the second round in Colin Kaepernick from Nevada, who would be an ideal guy to groom for a year. And he has so much athletic ability, and he's not going to be picked before the second round anyway. So it makes a lot of sense to bring him in as a second round pick, let him sit behind David Garrard for a year and learn the offense, develop as a quarterback, and then eventually, once Garrard moves on, he can take over. And I'm not sure they could take Ponder, but I'm not 100% sure they will. I think they'll have higher people on their board than Ponder, and I don't think they're going to want to sacrifice value for need. Third pick, I think that they're going to go secondary. I think that there's enough cornerback talent in this draft to constitute them going for a secondary player. Now, the cornerback that I have them taking right now is a bit of a surprise. But I think that the way that he is going to work out, his intangibles, what he showed at the college level, and the way that he fits this team make him a very tough pick to pass up. So right now, the player who I have mocked to Jacksonville, which of course is subject to tons of change because the draft is not for a relatively long time, is a cornerback from New Mexico State by the name of Devon House. Devon House is sort of reminds me of Devin McCourty in terms of his athletic skill set. He has long legs, he has a good back pedal, and he's physical, long arms, gets up in your face, and he, I think, in a cornerback class with a lot of talent that's going to fall around that second to third round range, he is the one guy I could see getting propelled up into round one as a surprise pick. And Brendan Harris is a great cornerback. He could be the guy too, but he doesn't have the physical gifts that House has at all. And I think that given a choice, Smith would go for House over those other guys. So that is my pick right now. I might not happen, but I think that the reasoning at least is somewhat sound. He fits what they're looking for, and he is a player who could be valued pretty highly by them. So I think that for now, he's going to be on picking the mock. If you guys have other suggestions, I'm sure I'll hear a lot of Cam Jordans, which is definitely a possibility. Feel free to leave them by me, because this is going to change, of course. But I think right now my hypothesis, House, cornerback, first round pick. Other guys I think they could look at. They love taking small school Virginia guys. Mark Legree and Justin Rogers, if they are around and valued correctly, will be Jaguars. Because both of them fit that mold perfectly. They're both versatile. They're both talented. And this is a team that tends to stack up on positions of need, and they need secondary help. Mark Legree is a great player. I'm a huge fan of his. I think he can go higher than where a lot of people mock him. I think he'd be a third-round pick for Jacksonville. And Justin Rogers, I'm not as high on him as some others, but I still think he would be good value in the mid-rounds. Chris Culliver is another possibility out of South Carolina. He has everything they're looking for in terms of character and also in terms of special teams value, which is really important. And he would appeal a lot to this team. I could see them going for a backup on the line or linebackers. There are a couple of guys I've been throwing around. I definitely think that if they wait until later, they might go for a little bit of a smaller look in terms of the line and linebackers. But there are any number of players, unfortunately, running out of time, so I'm going to keep it short. But Mel Tucker, defense, 4-3, pretty basic. And I think that they'll stick with past trends in terms of who they take there. Wide receiver is a possibility. Oh, I forgot to mention Jaquan Jarrett. They took Pot Roast, Temple, Jarrett, possibility as well. I could see him going there. I think secondary is going to be a major emphasis for the Jaguars in this draft. Since this is a team that tends to stack up at certain areas, they need a lot of help in their secondary because Don Carey and David Jones are not good, and they need help. Offensively, really quickly, wide receiver. I've heard the name of Jarrell Jernigan banded around a little bit. I think will go a little early for them. I think they'll wait until later. Take a guy like Dwayne Harris out of ECU or Jeff Mail out of Oregon, both of whom have value. Special teams, can run after the catch, make things happen. Harris is very underrated. I like him a lot. So overall, I think that's about it. Halfway done with this project. If you have comments, tweet me at Ethan Ham. Leave comments wherever. I want people to know about this. Spread this video around. Spread all my videos around. 16 down, 16 to go. I hope you guys stay with me the whole time. And yeah, I will talk to you on Friday. And go UConn on Thursday. So bye.